Welcome everybody, thanks for your time. We'd like to talk for 15 minutes about the Level 5 Digital Skills Qualification, which has had many conversations, much planning, but we hope will be very impactful for the sector as a whole. My name's Tommy and I work in the Digitising Social Care programme with my wonderful colleague.
Hi everybody, I'm Millie. I'm the policy lead for digital skills and workforce, and I joined Department of Health and Social Care in November.
Brilliant. So we're going to go through a number of slides and give you a bit of a story and go from there. So what is it? What's in it? Why we should do it? Why the sector should talk about doing it? And how do you express an interest and join the party? And all the while, I think it'd be really good to have a think about, if we are not leading the conversation around technology, then who is? Okay, so that's my nub at the end of all of it. So what is it? So is this me? Yes. Yeah. So let's go back a few years. So if you look around the whole of the show today, everything that you'll see is around technology. Everything is whizzy, flashy, screens, graphs, charts, information galore. But I'm convinced that as practitioners and those of us who work in the sector, it's not a given that we understand what that all means straight away. Okay, and when we're working with people with complex needs, in complex situations, with complex funding, complexity galore, it's not going to happen by chance that all the jigsaw pieces come together and the knowledge that we need as practitioners who work in social care are necessarily going to pick the right thing, give the right support to the people who want to use the stuff, and the outputs of that, what that actually means for our business, that we actually know what to do with that and whether it's useful or not. How many times do we buy something and we go, oh, I just wish I'd known beforehand what it was, because I'd have chosen something else. Or I just wish I knew how to have a conversation with someone about this topic so that they would be more empowered to make a difference in what we're trying to do, rather than them fighting against me and I'm spending all my time fighting fires and change management. So many years ago, we've done various iterations and tests of this in various different capacities. Back in 2021, we had a skills survey that said that digital skills were absolutely key to any kind of leadership of the sector. It would help with retention, it would amplify the voice of the story of social care, and it would help central government to understand the reality of what it's like in social care and capture really important information. And more than anything else, it would empower the stories of people that otherwise their stories might not have been heard because they weren't using technology and they were still paper-based. Much more agile, adaptive and responsive. So this course is based on our digital skills framework, and it's designed directly for registered managers and senior care workers who work in the sector, providing a formal accreditation, starting to give the sector some accreditation, starting to give the sector some sense of parity with colleagues in the NHS. 120 hours worth of study. First time it's ever happened. And we want to talk a little bit more about that journey as we progress. So if we pass over to the next slide.
Yes, thanks, Tommy. Okay, hopefully everybody can hear me as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the practical details of what is included in this qualification. So as Tommy mentioned, this is designed for leaders, a range of leaders within the sector, including registered managers, etc. And it covers quite a wide range of themes. So we wanted this qualification to be quite broad, and also make sure that it was really practical in terms of knowledge that leaders can then embed in their care provider setting. So it's comprised of 3 mandatory units of learning, and they're based off of the digital skills framework, which you can access on the Digitising Social Care website. And those 3 mandatory units of learning cover the use of technology and data in care provider settings. It also covers the implementation of technology within care provider settings. And then that final unit covers learning and improvement within a care provider setting. So really thinking about, once you've embedded those initial technologies that you want to incorporate, how you can then look to continuously improve and reiterate what your offer is, so that you're providing those who are in receipt of care with the most appropriate technology possible. In terms of how the qualification is structured beyond those 3 mandatory units, we have a number of awarding organisations who are developing their own qualifications. So the exact technologies that you would cover as a learner is going to depend on the specific awarding organisational specification that you take forward. But you could be covering things like digital social care records, AI, rostering systems, and business software, as well as diagnostic tools, telecare. So it's quite a wide breadth. And the aim is to ensure that you're covering technologies that will essentially be most appropriate for your workplace. In terms of the delivery of this qualification, as mentioned, we have a number of awarding organisations to date who have developed qualifications. They will be working with their relevant training providers to deliver this, and they're currently liaising with those training providers in order to outline those delivery plans. But it will be 120 hours in total. And the aim is to really, alongside kind of providing you with that theoretical knowledge, is also going to be focused on ensuring that learners can really then practically implement technology that they've learnt about. So it will be down to training providers to decide which specific assessment methods they want to use, but it is recommended that people complete a workplace project, so a case study or something similar, so that a learner can basically choose and pick a technology and outline how they would implement that in their care setting, so that they've got that kind of practical knowledge to take away once they complete the qualification itself.
Thank you, Millie. So if we look at all of the stands that are out here today, in theory, if we get it right, the use of technology makes things more adaptive. You're more agile, you're more responsive to the fluctuating care needs that the people we support have. You're able to respond quicker and think differently. Now, that again, I'm not sure that happens by chance. That happens through learning. You don't learn to drive overnight. You have to learn over a period of time. You don't learn to write overnight. It takes practice to learn and make mistakes. Similarly, using technology, you can get it right, you can get it wrong, and you can get it somewhere in between. This course is to try and nurture that sense of greater confidence, so that if you're the registered manager, you're a senior care worker, or you're someone who has influence in your organisation, you can go to these stands, understand the reality of the product, and critique it for your own organisation, matching it against your values and ethics as an organisation, the skill level of your staff perhaps, or even your budgetary constraints, or even particular relationship with your local authority, maybe data outputs, maybe you're interested in a particular area, or you care for people with specific complex needs. Either way, the skill of understanding and critiquing what is good for your organisation, what is a better fit and what is not a good fit, is not going to happen by chance. So this programme is designed to improve that sort of intangible confidence that you would have when you enter into a potentially bewildering place like this, if you don't or aren't confident or aware of what technology can do in the sector. And therefore, digital skills as a concept becomes more interesting, because the sector is ever evolving, and therefore we start to think about roles as a registered manager, for example, where the role of a registered manager is no longer just the traditional role of a registered manager, but it's also the technological aspects around that, the IT support, the hand-holding metaphorically and potentially physically with support staff to actually get the job done and bring people along with change. So therefore, this course is a way of addressing and meeting the needs of the sector, where it's acknowledging that things are moving at a rapid rate, so that the positive culture changes that can take place happen not by chance, but by strategic thinking. We know that the sector is complex. We know that funding in the sector is limited, so therefore we want to get the most out of technology, making the best decisions for the people we support and making sure that it fits our business needs. Again, the course is designed to address those factors in a way that links practice to peers who are doing similar ideas, and then you take them back into your organisation and test them. Test them and try it, test them and try it, test them and try it in an iterative way, because businesses need to remain sustainable. And then to remain sustainable, digital is a part of that. And if we're not part of the conversation and we're not leading the conversation, somebody else will. So, as we come into land, you may think, how do we express an interest? What's the next step? So I'll just pass to Millie, and then if there's any questions, we can have a chat afterwards.
Thanks, Tommy. Yes, so as I mentioned before, we currently have 4 awarding organisations who have developed their own specifications. They are currently working with their associated training providers to kind of implement and outline what the delivery plans and timelines will be for delivering the qualifications. If you would like to keep updated on when delivery centres will be kind of launching this qualification in order to sign up, please do contact myself via my Department of Health and Social Care email, which is amelia.walker@dhsc.gov.uk. We will also be posting in the next couple of weeks an information page on the Level 5 Digital Leadership Qualification on the Digitising Social Care website. So more information will be available there. And finally, a question that we haven't addressed, which is funding for the qualification. So we are pleased to announce that there is funding for the Digital Leadership Qualification via the LDSS Fund, which is the Learning Development and Support Scheme. Details of that are on gov.uk and will also be on the Digitising Social Care website as part of that Level 5 qualification information page. So people will be able to get reimbursed if they're eligible for completing this qualification, which is great news. So I think that's everything from Tommy and I. I think we have a couple of minutes for questions, or if not, people can chat to us at the stand later on in their own time. Thanks so much.